Fire in the hole, let's cook some sausage. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome once again to my backyard. What I got going for you here today is a great recipe. And I know it's a great recipe because this is where I got it from. This is Welcome to the Hacienda from Rivet Gardner. You may or may not know Rivet Gardner. He's a great cook. And he put out this cookbook. And it's an awesome cookbook. And I told him when I got the cookbook, I said, Rivet, I'm going to do one of your recipes. And he said, go right ahead. So what I got is some sausage on the grill. Now I'm just going to get a little fire and smoke on them. I'm not really trying to cook them because they're going to braise up. These are the spicy ones. See how they got like a red cast to them? And these ones here are mild. So I just want to get a little bit of fire and smoke on them. And then I'll get my pot on the fire and we'll cook up this recipe. But I got to tell you about this cookbook. This is an awesome cookbook. It's full of color pictures. This is a picture of a recipe of one of Rivet's that I did before, Ahsoka. It's just a great book. And I'm going to put a link in the description. So if you can buy one, if you want to buy one, you can go get Rivet's cookbook. And if you're cheap, you don't want to get up off your wallet, then all you got to do, if you're a subscriber, leave me a comment on this video, give me a thumbs up, and I'm going to give away to one subscriber a copy of Rivet's cookbook. It's an awesome cookbook, trust me. Anyway, let me get a little fire and smoke on my sausage, and then we'll get this recipe rolling, so stay tuned. I've got my cast iron pot on the fire, and we're going to start this out right with some bacon, about half a pound of American pork belly bacon that we're going to get in there and get that rendered down. Oh yeah, now you know that's good already. We could just stop right there and just eat that bacon and we'll be done. But we're not done, not by a long shot. Stay tuned, I'll get that bacon rendered down, we'll put the next ingredient. The bacon has rendered down quite a bit, and we're going to throw in a whole onion at this point. Now, when John does this, he takes the bacon out, but I've decided to leave the bacon in because I like bacon, and I'm not too worried about it. You know, it's going to get crisp up eventually. And I'm just going to mix that whole onion in there. Yes, sir. Look at that. A whole red onion. That's got to cook down a bit. Mingle with that bacon, let those flavors mingle, you know what I'm saying. And stay tuned, I'll bring you right back. My onion has sweated down in that bacon grease, and what we're going to add now is about a heaping tablespoon of garlic in there. We don't want to burn that garlic though, so we want to get that cooking. Like I said, we don't want to burn, oh boy, if you could smell that, that's amazing. Okay, now that doesn't need to cook much because like I said, I don't want to burn the garlic. So let's start adding the spices. First spice we're going to put is some brown sugar. Get some brown sugar in there. Oh boy, don't that look good? Brown sugar, you know this is going to be one good dish right here. Next thing we need is some cloves. Teaspoon of cloves. Ground cloves. Okay, we need a bay leaf. Let me get a bay leaf in there. A bay leaf, 2 bay leaves. Then we got some cinnamon sticks. We're going to put 2 whole cinnamon sticks in there, like that. Mix that around. Don't that look good already? You could almost just eat that like it is. We're not done yet. Let's see what else we got to do. Oh, we got to put some more spices in there. We need some salt, pepper, and garlic, which is what I got right here. This is my salt, pepper, and garlic mix that I make. We'll put about a tablespoon of that in there. Mix that around. Okay, I think that's it for the spices. The cinnamon, cloves, salt, pepper, and garlic. Oh, we need a little bit of, oh boy, that stuff is like caramelizing in there. Need a little bit of balsamic vinegar. How much balsamic vinegar? He says 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. It's quite a bit of balsamic vinegar. Tastes good though, good stuff. Oh boy, you should smell that. It's unreal. I gotta tell you, this is one awesome recipe. You know what I say about Rivet? His name's John. I say he's the best kept secret on the internet. His recipes are awesome. Okay, so now what we gotta put in there is some apples. And I've got a couple of apples that I sliced and peeled and got in there. I'm gonna put some apples in there to further enhance this dish with some apples. And this is an awesome recipe, I gotta tell you. Those apples are gonna really add a dimension of sweetness and deliciousness to this awesome dish. Okay. Okay, let's get that cooked down a little bit and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients and we're almost done. Except it's got to cook for 2 hours, so stay tuned. Alright, at this point in our dish you want to throw in an orange peel. Just like that, orange peel. And then we're going to put in the, we're going to mix that up a little bit. Mix that orange peel up in there. We want to leave it whole like that so we can get it out when we're done, you know, or pick that out of there. That and those leaves, the, what are they? What are those again? I forgot. You know those leaves? We don't want them in there. And the cinnamon too, we're going to pick that out of there before we eat this. Then we got the orange peel. Now we're going to go in with the cabbage. We've got some red cabbage that I cut up into strips like this. Get that in there. I'm going to get as much of this red cabbage, this whole head of red cabbage that I can into my pot because it's going to cook down. And also we're braising this. So let's get the cabbage in the pot. Don't that look good? That beautiful red cabbage. Okay, that's the whole head of red cabbage. Want to get that mixed up a bit with that beautiful apples and cinnamon and all that other stuff in there. There's that orange peel. That's an unusual ingredient, I have to say. Okay. So what we're going to do next is we've got some wine. We've got some Cabernet Sauvignon. And Rivet says to put a half a cup in there. So I'm putting a half a cup of red wine in there. That's a half a cup, don't you think? Maybe a little bit more, you know? What's it going to hurt? That's good wine. Okay. Now, for the rest of this incredibly easy dish, we're going to take our sausage. This is the hot sausage. I want to kind of keep that separate from the other because my wife doesn't like hot sausage, but I do. That's the hot sausage. Then I'm going to put the mild sausage over here so I can kind of keep them separate, kind of keep them in my mind from being so that's it. All I got to do now is put the cover on it and wait 2 hours for it to cook. I'm going to move it off the direct heat, of course. We're just going to let that braise in there for 2 hours, and that stuff's going to cook down. It's going to be delicious. So stay tuned. We'll show you what it's all about at the end. Let's drink a beer while it's cooking. What do you think? All right, my sausages are rocking right along. In another 30 minutes, they'll be done. Meanwhile, there's a Frosty Root Boy mug, and here's today's beer, Sierra Nevada BFD. BFD stands for Beer for Drinking, or it could stand for Big Effing Deal. But I think it's going to be a good beer because it's got a low ABV. It's very sessionable. Family owned and operated, Sierra Nevada. 1 pint of ale. Sierra Nevada casually crushable. Let's find out. There's only one way to find out, right, Roll? Let's pour it out. It's a very pale ale. You know I like a pale ale. It's a nice big can. I've totally botched the pouring of the beer, but don't worry about it. It'll be fine. It'll be okay. It's a beautiful light yellow looking beer, BFD, which is a weird name for a beer, BFD. Well, let's take a sniff, find out what it smells like. It smells good. It's got a citrusy aroma of hops and barley. Let's quaff the froth off it, Roll. What do you think? It's good. I pronounce it good. I wish you could see that can, but there's a shadow here. Maybe if I move it over here. No, you really can't see it. BFD. Beer for drinking. It definitely is beer for drinking. All right, let's get some of that sausage out of here and give it a taste, so stay tuned. My braised cabbage and sausage is done. And most people would eat that on a plate like that, but that's not how I roll. In fact, what I'm going to do is get a piece of Italian bread and take some of that cabbage and lay on there like that. Whoops, got a piece of that escaped, what is that stuff? The cinnamon. I'm going to lay that sausage on there. I got some, move that over. Got some of Mr. Tom's amazing mustard sauce. You know all about that. That's good stuff. Gonna put some of that on there. Doesn't really need anything, but I just like that stuff, you know. So yeah, how's that look? Not too shabby, huh? Well, you know that stuff's hot now, but I'm finna put it in my mouth, so stay tuned. Mmm. That is so awesome. I can't tell you. The flavors from all those things that are in that cabbage and that spicy sausage, it's unreal. So I tell you what, babies, this is a great recipe. I got to thank John Rivera. His name is Rivet Gardner. Try to chew quietly. Anyway, thanks John for the awesome recipe and all the awesome recipes in your cookbook. And if you want to get one of John's cookbooks, go down in the description and get up off your wallet and get one. Or you can hope that I'll give you one, which I will give someone one. You know what I always say? If you like this crap, please subscribe. If you don't, go up and check out Rivet Gardner. Rivet Gardner is the best kept secret on YouTube. He's got about 2,500 subscribers. He needs about 2,500 more right now. So 2,500 of you, go up there and subscribe to John. Another 2,500 of you go and order the cookbook. And the rest of you, go make this recipe and enjoy that spicy Italian sausage. It's awesome. Come back next week. We may not cook anything good, but we will drink a beer. And this BFD, beer for drinking, is a big effing deal. It's good beer. It's very drinkable. Anyway, that's my video, babies. We'll see you next week. Bye.